Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about summer tubbing. A lot of you seem to express a lot of interest in potentially starting, so I wanted to talk a little bit about what it is, what you need, how you get started. And this will be the start to a new series where I create a few different tubs with materials sourced from specific places in a fashion that is more likely for you guys to be able to duplicate. Now, if you've been around my channel for a while, you know that every year I set up thousands and thousands of gallons of essentially patio ponds or water gardens in various shaped and sized vats, for lack of a better term, in order to grow plants and breed fish, and it's super rewarding. Summer tubbing is simply setting up an outdoor temporary pond slash bin of water and plants in order to grow or breed fish. Now, there's a few things that I particularly like about it. First of all, they can be really, really beautiful. It's a great way to bring your hobby outdoors so that you can spend more time out there. They have a wonderful sound should you choose to aerate them. The bubbling or the fountain sound is really soothing. And it's really great for our fish, both because of the sun as well as the live food sources that develop in an outdoor container garden. So that's basically what it is. Now, what you need really depends on your goals, what you're going to work with, and where you live. The first thing that you should do is really pay attention to location. Now, summer tubbing can run the gamut from a smaller, like 20-gallon resin whiskey barrel up to, larger 600-gallon Rubbermaids. Your level investment is up to you, and there's a lot of good solutions available in the market, and that's one of the things that I'm going to be showing you in the upcoming weeks. Now, it's important before you get started to really pay attention to the environment where you want to set up your tub. How much sun does it get? How hot does it get? Does it have any shade? And where is it in location to your home? These patio ponds could be done on a deck, on a front stoop, or potentially, if small enough, even maybe on a fire escape, though I probably wouldn't recommend that, although I'd likely do it myself if I lived in an apartment. So, you have to take into consideration the weight of the water and the footprint as well as the stability, just like you would for an aquarium. Now, for me, I like my tubs to have at least 6 hours of full sun. But this also means I want them to have a good portion of shade. And I really prefer to use containers that are thicker walled and dark in color, as they seem to hold temperature better. Now, you can achieve this in a lot of ways. If you only have an area with direct sun, you can shade them with things as simple as an umbrella. You can also use a lot of surface plants or overhanging plants in order to provide more shade to the water so it doesn't get as hot. Now, most people, I think that these tubs require filtration, but they absolutely don't. If you have a bigger surface area than depth, you don't always have to use a filter or any aeration, though it's always my preference to do so, just because it mixes the water and creates, again, a more stable environment. So how do you know when to start your tubs? Well, that you have to do on your own. You have to look at your weather trends. In general, you don't want to add fish outdoors until the overnights are well over 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and the daytimes are at least 20 degrees warmer. This will vary amazingly by where you live, so you have to sort of look into that first. Now, species selection is another really personal choice, and I've done quite a few videos on this in the past, and I'll do more again this season. Having your fish in advance of summer tubbing season is a really smart idea. That way you can make sure they're healthy, they're happy, they're eating well, and there's no surprises. Now, if you live in an area like I do that's really rural, you want to make sure that you place your tubs in a spot where it's less likely to have predation from things like birds, raccoons, or even neighborhood cats. For me, I like to keep them close to the house or close to my greenhouse, where they seem to not really be disturbed by those sorts of things. Now, that didn't stop the dragonflies last year, which is an entirely different issue as far as aquatic pest predation, and we'll talk about that more as the season progresses. So just to recap, if you're really interested in summer tubbing, now is a great time to start looking around at hardware stores, nurseries, or really any place that sells outdoor decor like pots and things like that, because pretty much anything that is sealed without a hole in the bottom could potentially be a summer tub. And again, we're going to experiment with a few things this year. You do have to be careful of some of the ceramic glazed pots though, as not all of them are water safe, and also not all metals are safe for fish. Anyway, my goals for this series are to go over a couple of different location ideas based on how much sun it gets, how to plant them, what sort of vessels to use, and then what sort of fish to put in to reach our goals. But it's important to remember, if you are going to move fish or invertebrates out, that you have a plan for moving them back in once the season's over. As always, I want to hear from you guys. I want to know if this is something you're really interested in doing, and if you've done it before, and how your success has been. Again, this is something I've been doing for over a decade, and is really one of my favorite parts of fish keeping, just because the water gardening aspect is so much easier when you can take advantage of the sun, and the obvious benefits to the fish are just absolutely amazing. As always, thanks for your continued support, and stay tuned for more of these videos, as well as updates of the fish room, my greenhouse, my large-scale summer tubbing, and some of my terrestrial plant projects going on around the yard.